Today, we'll delve into the history and design of the most ancient and powerful Kuat capital ship, Praetor-class Battlecruiser. Fasten your seatbelts and subscribe for more Star Wars content. Nordy is here, and it's time to get started. The Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser was one of the most formidable warships deployed by the Imperial Navy, a vessel designed to serve as a powerful command ship, frontline combatant, and strategic deterrent. While technically classified as a battlecruiser, its sheer firepower, durability, and advanced combat systems made it comparable to smaller star dreadnoughts, allowing it to act as the centerpiece of Imperial fleet formations. Equipped with an extensive array of turbolaser batteries, ion cannons, and tractor beam projectors, the Praetor Mark II was intended to engage entire enemy fleets, decimate capital ships, and exert Imperial dominance in contested regions of space. The primary armament of the Praetor Mark II consisted of an array of 60 heavy quad turbolaser batteries, distributed strategically across its massive hull to provide overlapping fields of fire. These heavy quad turbolasers were designed for maximum destructive capability, with each barrel capable of delivering multi-teraton energy outputs per shot. Concentrated volleys from these batteries were sufficient to cripple or outright destroy enemy battleships, rendering them useless before they could return fire. Positioned primarily along the dorsal and ventral surfaces, as well as the main ridge, trenches, and prow, these weapons provided near-complete coverage of the battlecruiser's engagement zones. The firing range of these turbolasers extended tens of thousands of kilometers, allowing the vessel to engage targets at extreme distances with a high degree of accuracy. To prevent overheating and maintain combat efficiency, the turrets were equipped with Tabana gas compression chambers that optimized energy transfer and reduced waste heat, while a network of gas-cooled superconducting conduits and vented heat sinks dissipated excess energy. Each heavy quad turret was mounted on an advanced servo motor system, allowing rapid tracking of enemy vessels, though their sheer size meant they were optimized for capital ship engagements rather than smaller, more agile targets. Their rate of fire was maintained at a steady 1 to 2 shots per second per barrel, with a staggered firing sequence to sustain a continuous barrage. The entire system was integrated into the centralized battlecruiser targeting AI, which coordinated fire solutions across multiple turrets, ensuring the ship could engage several large vessels simultaneously. In specialized combat scenarios, these turrets could be enhanced with Tabana X charge modules, increasing their destructive power at the cost of reduced firing rates. In addition to its heavy quad turbolasers, the Praetor Mark II was also outfitted with 40 twin medium turbolaser batteries, placed along the trench lines and flanks of the vessel to provide a secondary layer of offensive capability. These turbolasers, while not as devastating as their heavier counterparts, were crucial in engaging frigates, corvettes, and support ships, as well as suppressing enemy forces attempting to break through Imperial battle lines. They were configured for medium-range engagements, with effective targeting distances spanning several thousand kilometers. Their higher firing rate, at approximately 3 to 4 shots per second per barrel, allowed them to deliver rapid barrages against enemy formations. These turrets were also integrated into the Imperial Point Defense Coordination Grid, enabling them to engage incoming projectiles, missiles, and even starfighters in emergency situations. Under certain conditions, these weapons could be set to burst fire mode, trading sustained firepower for rapid, overwhelming volleys capable of penetrating enemy shields. For engagements where disabling enemy vessels took precedence over outright destruction, the Praetor Mark II relied on its 10 twin long-range ion cannon batteries, strategically positioned near the central spine and forward prow. These weapons were capable of bypassing deflector shields and delivering massive ion-based energy pulses that overloaded electrical systems, rendering enemy ships defenseless. The range of these ion cannons exceeded that of standard turbolasers, allowing the battlecruiser to disable hostile vessels before they could engage effectively. However, the high-energy nature of these weapons meant their rate of fire was lower than standard turbolasers, at roughly 1 shot every 2 to 3 seconds per barrel. Each ion cannon battery was linked to a cryogenic heat dispersal unit, preventing the buildup of ionized plasma and ensuring continued operational efficiency. These weapons could also be modified for EMP pulse mode, which caused temporary sensor blackouts and communications disruptions in affected areas, further neutralizing enemy forces before Imperial ships moved in for the kill. Supporting the long-range ion cannons were 30 twin ion cannon turrets, distributed along the trench lines, and dorsal ridge of the ship. These turrets, though less powerful than their long-range counterparts, were designed for mid-range combat scenarios, where their rapid 4 to 5 shots per second per barrel rate allowed them to quickly disable multiple smaller vessels. The primary role of these cannons was to compromise enemy subsystems, leaving ships vulnerable to subsequent turbo-laser bombardments. Some of these turrets were equipped with pulsed fire mode, enhancing their shield penetration capabilities at the cost of sustained damage potential. Beyond its turbo-laser and ion cannon arsenal, the Praetor Mark II was equipped with 10 heavy tractor beam emitters, placed around its docking bays and forward prow. These emitters were powerful enough to immobilize corvettes and medium-sized frigates, rendering them easy targets for boarding parties or point-blank heavy turbo-laser fire. The battlecruiser's tractor beam system was enhanced with predictive targeting algorithms, allowing it to anticipate enemy evasive maneuvers and maintain a constant lock on retreating vessels. In specific tactical operations, the tractor beams could be set to disruptive mode, creating artificial turbulence in enemy shields and making them more vulnerable to follow-up attacks. The entire weapons suite of the Praetor Mark II was governed by the Integrated Predictive Combat Network, IPCN, an advanced fire coordination system that utilized real-time sensor data, trajectory prediction algorithms, and fleet-wide coordination protocols to maximize the efficiency of the battlecruiser's offensive capabilities. The IPCN allowed the ship to target multiple enemy formations simultaneously, adjusting turret trajectories and power distribution on the fly to counteract enemy movements. Additionally, the battlecruiser's hypermatter reactor, combined with a series of auxiliary power capacitors, ensured a stable energy supply for its extensive weapons systems. The ship's energy allocation protocols allowed for flexible power distribution between weapons, shields, and propulsion, enabling it to adjust combat effectiveness based on situational needs. To maintain prolonged engagements without overheating, the ship utilized cryogenic conduits for ion weapon stabilization, Tibana gas heat dispersal units for turbolaser longevity, and dedicated cooling towers that prevented system failures during high-intensity battles. As a result of its unparalleled firepower and strategic versatility, the Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser played a crucial role in fleet command, planetary assault, and sector defense operations. While not as overwhelmingly powerful as the Executor-class star dreadnought, its cost-effective design made it a valuable asset in Imperial fleet deployments. These vessels were often used to project power in contested regions, acting as fleet flagships and coordinating large-scale engagements. Their immense durability and sheer firepower allowed them to act as anchor points in defensive formations, ensuring that enemy forces were unable to break through without suffering catastrophic losses. In battle, a Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser could single-handedly hold off enemy fleets, its overlapping layers of turbo-laser, ion cannon, and tractor beam fire, making it an exceptionally difficult target to overcome. The propulsion systems of the Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser were designed to deliver exceptional speed, maneuverability, and long-range capabilities, while maintaining a formidable presence in battle. Despite its massive size and formidable armament, the battlecruiser was engineered with a highly advanced propulsion network that allowed it to traverse vast distances across the galaxy, perform rapid fleet maneuvers, and remain a dominant force in combat. At the heart of the Praetor Mark II's propulsion system were its 3 primary engines, each a marvel of Imperial engineering. These engines were placed in strategic locations along the ship's structure to ensure optimal power distribution and efficiency. The main engines, positioned along the rear of the battlecruiser, were responsible for delivering the majority of the thrust required to propel the vessel at sublight speeds. These engines utilized advanced fusion reactors to generate vast amounts of power, converting the energy into plasma propulsion, allowing the ship to reach speeds exceeding 0.5 past light speed. The primary engines were each housed within heavily shielded compartments, their cores protected by reinforced alloys to withstand the intense heat and pressure generated during prolonged thrust operations. In addition to the primary engines, the Praetor Mark II featured 4 secondary maneuvering engines strategically positioned across the ventral and dorsal sections of the ship. 2 of these secondary engines were located on the outer portions of the ventral hull, near the docking bays, while the other 2 were located behind the ridge extension on the stern. These engines provided precise adjustments to the ship's trajectory, allowing the battlecruiser to make sharp turns, alter its course during battle, and execute complex evasive maneuvers. Although smaller than the primary engines, these secondary units were essential for maintaining the battlecruiser's agility, ensuring that it could keep pace with faster, more nimble enemies while maintaining its combat posture. The Praetor Mark II's propulsion system also incorporated a hyperdrive, allowing the ship to travel through hyperspace at extraordinary speeds. The hyperdrive system was designed to handle the massive scale of the battlecruiser, utilizing a highly sophisticated array of hypermatter reactors to produce the necessary energy for FTL, faster than light, travel. The Praetor Mark II's hyperdrive was capable of safely transporting the ship across interstellar distances, with the ability to reach distant sectors of the galaxy for rapid deployment in times of war. The ship's hyperdrive was equipped with a backup redundant system, ensuring that in the event of a malfunction, the battlecruiser could still engage in hyperspace travel, albeit at reduced speeds. Furthermore, the navigation systems of the Praetor Mark II were integrated with advanced gravitic sensors and inertial dampeners, ensuring that the battlecruiser could travel through hyperspace with precision and avoid potential gravitational anomalies or obstacles in real space. These sensors also provided real-time data during sublight travel, offering enhanced navigation capabilities in combat scenarios. The system's intelligence was interconnected with the Imperial fleet's broader navigation grid, allowing it to maintain synchronization with other fleet assets while traveling at high speeds. The battlecruiser's propulsion network was heavily shielded, with energy dissipation systems integrated into both the primary and secondary engines to ensure operational longevity during extended missions. Cryogenic cooling conduits and heat-resistant alloys safeguarded the ship's propulsion components from the extreme heat generated by the engine's performance, minimizing the risk of overheating during high-intensity combat or prolonged travel. Additionally, the ship was equipped with a series of auxiliary power capacitors that ensured an uninterrupted power supply for its propulsion systems during prolonged engagements or emergency maneuvers. Together, the combination of advanced primary and secondary engines, a state-of-the-art hyperdrive, and a robust navigation system made the Praetor Mark II-class battlecruiser a formidable force on both the battlefield and the vast expanse of space. While not as fast as smaller vessels, the battlecruiser's propulsion system ensured that it could engage in large-scale fleet operations, swiftly repositioning to provide tactical support and maintaining Imperial dominance across contested regions. Whether executing a swift offensive strike or maneuvering to defend critical positions, the Praetor Mark II's propulsion systems enabled it to maintain its role as a powerhouse in the Imperial Navy. The Praetor Mark II-class battlecruiser stood as one of the largest and most formidable warships ever designed by Quat Drive Yards, incorporating the trademark aesthetics and design principles of the Imperial Navy's Star Destroyer family. Renowned for its sheer size, advanced engineering, and strategic functionality, the Praetor Mark II's design was both sleek and lethal. The vessel's overall silhouette was characterized by its iconic dagger-shaped profile, an intentional design choice that emphasized both its aggressive posture in battle and its efficient use of space for weaponry and defensive systems. As part of the broader Quat Drive Yards Star Destroyer family, the Praetor Mark II shared several design elements with other notable ships, such as the Praetor-class Dreadnought and the Executor-class Star Dreadnought. A central feature of the Praetor Mark II's layout was its prominent ridge structure, which ran from the stern of the vessel all the way to roughly midway along the ship's length. This ridge extended beyond the stern, reaching past the main thrusters, further enhancing the ship's aerodynamic profile in both space and planetary atmospheres. The ridge itself was not only a visual identifier, but also housed key operational systems, including communication arrays, sensor clusters, and reinforced structural components critical for withstanding the stresses of combat and high-speed travel. At an estimated length of between 4,800 to 8,000 meters, the Praetor Mark II's sheer size was staggering, with the higher end of this range placing it at a size equivalent to 5 Imperial II-class Star Destroyers. The battlecruiser was a colossal presence in space. Although the Praetor Mark II could technically be classified as a Star Dreadnought under the Anaxes War College system due to its larger dimensions, its relatively lighter armament compared to standard Star Dreadnoughts resulted in its designation as a battlecruiser. This size allowed for the integration of a massive array of offensive and defensive systems, as well as extensive command and control capabilities, making it a versatile and adaptable platform for a wide variety of fleet operations. The vessel's forward section housed the primary docking bay, located at the prow. This forward bay was crucial for deploying both fighter squadrons and ground assault units, providing the Praetor Mark II with the flexibility to engage in planetary bombardments or rapid strikes against hostile forces. To support its logistical needs, the Praetor Mark II was also equipped with a transport ring located at the stern of the ship. This secondary bay allowed for the rapid offloading of troops, supplies, and smaller vessels, ensuring that the battlecruiser could operate in extended combat scenarios without resupply interruptions. Internally, the Praetor Mark II was equipped with a robust consumables system, capable of supporting a crew for up to 3 years without the need for resupply. This made it particularly well suited for long-range expeditions and deep space operations, as it could operate independently for extended periods, far from supply lines or support bases. The consumables system included food, water, medical supplies, and other essential resources, all stored in specialized compartments to maintain long-term mission readiness. The overall design of the Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser balanced the need for firepower, durability, and operational versatility. Its massive size, striking shape, and advanced systems made it a commanding presence in the Imperial fleet, capable of leading large-scale military operations, coordinating planetary assaults, and engaging in fleet defense. While its primary role was as a battlecruiser, it could seamlessly integrate into the larger Imperial Navy hierarchy, often operating in tandem with star destroyers, dreadnoughts, and other warships to dominate hostile regions and provide unmatched firepower in strategic engagements. The bridge of the Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser represented a notable departure from the iconic T-shaped bridge towers found on many other ships in the Imperial fleet, such as the star destroyer designs by Kuat Drive Yards. Instead of this traditional structure, the command bridge was strategically located at the front end of the ship's elevated ridge, a design feature that significantly reduced its profile as a target in battle. This positioning provided a more compact and protected location for the ship's command center, while still allowing for optimal visibility of the surrounding battlefield. The bridge's design bore a resemblance to the command bridges of previous vessels, such as the Venator-class Star Destroyer, an Acclamator-class assault ship from the Clone Wars era, as well as the later Executor-class Star Destroyer. This allowed the Praetor Mark II to retain the functionality of these earlier designs, while offering improvements in both survivability and efficiency. By positioning the bridge within the ridge, the Praetor Mark II minimized the exposed surface area, compared to the traditional tall and prominent bridge towers, making it harder for enemy fire to strike directly at the command center. Internally, the bridge section was significantly larger in volume than the command bridges of standard Star Destroyers. This spacious design allowed the Praetor Mark II to accommodate a large complement of fleet officers, technicians, and tactical specialists, facilitating strategic meetings and real-time coordination of fleet operations within the command center itself. The bridge's expansive size enabled the crew to maintain a high level of operational flexibility, with multiple divisions of personnel working simultaneously to manage the various systems on the ship and throughout the Imperial fleet. The placement of the bridge within the dorsal ridge also allowed for efficient use of the surrounding superstructure, which housed vital crew areas, communications, and command facilities. The rest of the ship's structure was primarily dedicated to the ship's complex systems, such as machinery, control centers, and engineering spaces. This thoughtful design ensured that the Praetor Mark II maintained its high combat readiness, with the command bridge well protected and integrated into the overall ship layout. As a result, the bridge of the Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser was not only a functional command center, but also a highly strategic feature that contributed to the ship's survivability and operational efficiency. By placing it within the ship's ridge and reducing its exposed surface area, the Praetor Mark II balanced the need for a commanding presence with the practicalities of ensuring the safety and effectiveness of its bridge crew during prolonged engagements in the heat of battle. The crew hierarchy aboard the Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser was structured to maintain operational efficiency across the vast array of ship systems, personnel, and auxiliary units. The ship's crew complement of 109,000 officers, pilots, and enlisted personnel was organized in a detailed and systematic manner, ensuring all sections of the battlecruiser could operate seamlessly, even during the most intense combat scenarios. The hierarchy followed the traditional structure of the Imperial Navy, with distinctions between the officer class and the enlisted personnel, ensuring clear command and control throughout the ship. The officer ranks aboard the Praetor Mark II were the backbone of the vessel's leadership, responsible for overseeing operations, managing personnel, and executing complex missions. These officers were divided into several categories based on their specific roles and expertise. The command staff, typically led by a captain or admiral, managed the overall strategic direction of the battlecruiser and coordinated with other Imperial forces. Beneath them were senior officers, such as lieutenant commanders, chief officers, and department heads, each responsible for individual functional areas like navigation, engineering, communications, and tactical operations. The pilots were a critical component of the officer ranks, often holding specialized positions within the Starfighter Corps. These officers led fighter squadrons and managed the deployment of the 120 starfighters housed within the Praetor Mark II. Their rank structure mirrored that of the Imperial Navy, with flight commanders, squadron leaders, and pilots all contributing to the operational success of the battlecruiser in combat. Starfighter officers often underwent rigorous training to operate in various conditions, including dogfights, bombing raids, and defensive maneuvers. In addition to the officers directly overseeing combat and operations, there were also administrative officers who handled the logistical and personnel management aspects of the ship. They were tasked with maintaining the ship's supply chain, managing the maintenance schedule, ensuring that crew members were ready for their respective tasks, and ensuring discipline and morale were upheld across the crew. These officers worked closely with the enlisted personnel to manage day-to-day operations and ensure the Praetor Mark II's readiness for both extended missions and rapid response situations. The enlisted personnel aboard the Praetor Mark II were the backbone of its day-to-day functioning, performing essential tasks across the vessel's many divisions. They were divided into different categories, including technical staff, engineering personnel, communication specialists, medics, and security teams, all working together to maintain the battlecruiser's operational efficiency. The technical and engineering crews ensured that the ship's complex systems, from the power reactors to the weapons arrays, were kept in working order. These personnel worked in shifts, performing routine maintenance and responding to emergencies. The security teams aboard the Praetor Mark II were tasked with maintaining order within the ship and protecting both personnel and vital equipment. They conducted regular patrols, checks, and inspections of key sections of the ship, including the hangar bays, the engine rooms, and command areas. Additionally, they were trained to handle any boardings, ensuring that no enemy forces could infiltrate the battlecruiser during missions. The training aboard the Praetor Mark II was rigorous, with a combination of classroom instruction and hands-on experience. Officers received specialized training in their areas of expertise, ranging from tactical operations to advanced engineering. Pilots went through intensive flight training, honing their skills to handle the high-pressure environment of space combat. Similarly, enlisted personnel were required to undergo training specific to their assigned divisions. Engineering staff learned to operate and repair the battlecruiser's advanced systems, while security personnel received instruction in shipboard defense tactics and emergency protocols. The crew worked in shifts to ensure that the ship operated 24/7, with a rotation system in place to maintain a constant level of readiness. Officers, pilots, and enlisted personnel followed standard watches to ensure that key areas of the ship, including navigation, communications, and weapons control, were always staffed. The watch schedule was designed to balance the needs of constant vigilance with the well-being of the crew, ensuring that no section of the ship was left unguarded. The battlecruiser's officer ranks typically worked longer shifts compared to the enlisted crew, especially in times of heightened alert or active combat. Officers held primary responsibility for making decisions, while enlisted personnel acted under their direction. Pilots and technicians often had on-call duty, which required them to be available for rapid response in case of emergencies, such as sudden engagements or damage to key systems. Life aboard the Praetor Mark II was intense, and crew members were rarely afforded time off. However, to maintain morale and prevent burnout, the Imperial Navy allowed for periodic vacations for officers and enlisted personnel, who had served extended tours of duty. These breaks could include leave on nearby Imperial-controlled worlds, or rotating out to less dangerous sectors for rest and recuperation. The ship's commanding officer ensured that vacation schedules did not compromise the ship's readiness. In their free time, crew members had access to recreational facilities within the Praetor Mark II. These areas included mess halls, gymnasiums, and holo theaters for relaxation and entertainment. The social structure aboard the ship was formal, and though interaction between officers and enlisted personnel was limited by rank, a sense of camaraderie developed over time, especially during long missions. For the enlisted personnel, life aboard the battlecruiser was often austere and monotonous. Most of their time was spent maintaining the ship, performing maintenance tasks, or preparing for the next battle. However, they were highly disciplined and understood the importance of their roles in ensuring the Praetor Mark II could carry out its missions. Any enlisted crew members viewed service on the battlecruiser as a prestigious opportunity to advance within the Imperial Navy or gain recognition for their dedication and skills. The service aboard the Praetor Mark II was demanding, and those who served on this elite ship were expected to maintain a high level of performance. Crew members who demonstrated exceptional skills were often given opportunities for advancement. Officers could rise through the ranks based on merit, experience, and the successful completion of key missions. Similarly, enlisted personnel could earn promotions to more specialized roles or even be selected for officer training if they demonstrated leadership potential. The Imperial Navy placed a high premium on loyalty and discipline, and while life aboard the Praetor Mark II was rigorous, it offered those who served a chance to be part of something greater than themselves, the continued dominance of the Galactic Empire. The combination of structured training, intense duties, and the opportunity for career advancement made service aboard the Praetor Mark II both challenging and rewarding for those who accepted the responsibility. The complement of the Praetor Mark II-class battlecruiser was designed to support a wide array of tactical operations, making the vessel not only a formidable capital ship, but also a highly versatile platform for projecting Imperial power across space. The battlecruiser was equipped with a full complement of 120 starfighters, a crucial part of its offensive and defensive capabilities. These starfighters were housed in the main hangar bays and were used for a variety of roles, from space superiority missions to strike craft support. The majority of these starfighters were TIE fighters, standard, mass-produced Imperial starfighters that were optimized for high-speed combat and could engage enemy starfighters, bombers, and light capital ships with devastating effectiveness. The Praetor Mark II also carried TIE bombers and TIE interceptors for specialized missions, such as heavy bombardment and intercepting enemy starships or missiles. The hangar bays were designed with modular docking rings that allowed for rapid deployment and resupply of fighters, providing flexibility in extended engagements. The battlecruiser's shuttles served as essential transport craft for a range of logistical and tactical purposes. These craft could carry troops, equipment, and cargo between the Praetor Mark II and planetary surfaces, supporting ground operations during invasions or siege warfare. The shuttles were equipped with powerful shield generators, allowing them to withstand enemy fire while delivering troops in hostile environments. They were often used for boarding operations, enabling the Praetor Mark II's crew to storm enemy vessels or planetside facilities. In combat scenarios, the shuttles also supported evacuation operations and could be used to transport wounded soldiers or VIPs from the front lines to secure locations. The hangar bay itself was divided into specialized sections to accommodate these shuttles, which were serviced and deployed using automated cargo lifts and drone-assisted loading arms. In addition to its starfighters and shuttles, the Praetor Mark II could also house a variety of landing craft, used for large-scale planetary assaults or rapid troop deployments during sieges. These landing craft were equipped with heavy armor and shielding to protect the crew and cargo from enemy fire during landings. Their gravity wells could be activated to secure the vessel to the ground or other platforms in low-gravity environments. Walker transports were also part of the Praetor Mark II's ground assault capability, including all-terrain series walkers for highly mobile assaults on enemy positions or for protecting key objectives on the ground. These walkers were often deployed in tandem with battalion-level assault forces, offering direct support during planetary invasions. The hangar and docking bay facilities on the Praetor Mark II were designed with a high degree of efficiency in mind, utilizing automated systems to streamline the process of ship and personnel movement. The battlecruiser's forward bay at the prow allowed for rapid deployment of both starfighters and ground units, while a secondary transport ring at the stern could accommodate supply shipments and auxiliary craft to support extended missions. This design ensured that the battlecruiser could sustain extended engagements without needing to return to a fleet base for resupply or reinforcement. The crew complement of the Praetor Mark II was also crucial in managing and maintaining this extensive range of vehicles and equipment. With 109,000 officers, pilots, and enlisted personnel aboard, the vessel had dedicated personnel for fighter coordination, shuttle operations, cargo handling, and logistical support, ensuring the efficiency of every deployment and maneuver during combat operations. The large capacity of the Praetor Mark II's complement made it an exceptional platform for fleet support, planetary invasions, and rapid response operations, providing the Imperial Navy with the capability to project power quickly and decisively across vast distances and hostile environments. The battlecruiser's complement was carefully calibrated to ensure maximum operational flexibility, making it a force to be reckoned with in both space and ground-based engagements. The landing forces of the Praetor Mark II-class battlecruiser were a fundamental component of its strategic capabilities, offering the Empire unparalleled flexibility and power projection across vast distances. The concept of using landing forces aboard such a massive battlecruiser revolved around the ability to rapidly deploy a reinforced division of troops and equipment to planetary surfaces or enemy vessels, enabling the Praetor Mark II to conduct large-scale invasions, sieges, and ground assaults with devastating effectiveness. The sheer size of the Praetor Mark II's landing force, able to carry up to 14,000 passengers, including elite soldiers, engineers, and combat specialists, was a significant advantage. This immense capacity allowed the battlecruiser to operate as a self-sufficient mobile invasion base, capable of establishing a foothold on enemy-controlled worlds without the need for additional support from larger fleets or ground forces. The landing craft aboard the Praetor Mark II were specifically designed to support rapid deployment of personnel, vehicles, and supplies directly onto hostile planets. These crafts, equipped with heavy armor and powerful shielding, could withstand significant enemy fire during planetary assault or evacuation missions. The landing craft featured reinforced drop pods, combat airlifters, and assault barges, capable of delivering specialized stormtrooper units, commandos, and heavy artillery to secure strategic locations on the ground. Their range and maneuverability allowed them to penetrate enemy defenses, whether it be fortified positions or airborne threats, ensuring that the Imperial forces had the flexibility to launch surprise attacks or establish beachheads with overwhelming force. One of the key advantages of such a large landing force was the rapid escalation of ground operations. Unlike smaller assault ships that might need to return to orbit to resupply or reinforce their ground forces, the Praetor Mark II could carry out extended operations on a planetary surface or within hostile space without the need for additional logistical support. The reinforced division of 14,000 personnel could be deployed in multiple waves or held in reserve for strategic reinforcement at critical moments in the battle. This provided the Praetor Mark II with significant tactical flexibility, allowing commanders to tailor their approach depending on the resistance encountered and the objectives to be achieved. The all-terrain series walkers added yet another layer of firepower and mobility to the Praetor Mark II's landing forces. These walkers, often deployed alongside infantry units, provided direct support against enemy armor, fortifications, and airborne threats. The walkers' heavy armor and powerful weaponry made them ideal for breaking through entrenched enemy positions or providing heavy suppression during ground engagements. Their amphibious capabilities allowed them to traverse difficult terrains, including dense forests, urban environments, and mountainous regions, giving the Imperials the advantage in diverse battlefields. These walkers could also be used in a scout capacity, clearing paths for infantry, or providing a mobile command post during extended campaigns. The tactical use of landing forces aboard the Praetor Mark II involved highly coordinated operations. The initial assault wave would typically consist of shuttles and landing craft, deployed rapidly to secure key objectives, while stormtroopers and commando units conducted search and destroy missions to disable enemy defenses. Once the initial foothold was secured, Reinforcements from the 14,000-strong contingent would be deployed to secure territory, reinforce positions, and neutralize any remaining resistance. Walkers would serve as frontline support, neutralizing armored threats and providing heavy firepower for advancing infantry. Commanders aboard the battlecruiser had the capability to adapt tactics on the fly, responding to changes in the battlefield environment or new intelligence that came in through the ship's extensive communication and sensor networks. The strategic capabilities of these landing forces were enhanced by the Praetor Mark II's capacity to sustain prolonged engagements. With its massive internal space, the battlecruiser could not only carry the necessary personnel and equipment, but also the logistical support to keep them fighting on the ground for extended periods. This included weaponry, supplies, and medical resources, as well as a suite of droids and repair units to maintain the functionality of both ground and space assets. Furthermore, the Praetor Mark II's command and control systems allowed for seamless coordination between orbital forces, ground assault units, and supply lines, ensuring that Imperial forces could overwhelm their enemies through sheer efficiency and coordinated strategy. In essence, the Praetor Mark II's landing forces were a critical part of the Imperial strategy, allowing the battlecruiser to function not just as a powerful combatant in space, but as a strategic asset capable of dominating planetary warfare. Whether used to subdue rebellious systems, crush insurgencies, or enforce Imperial will, the Praetor Mark II's capacity to carry, deploy, and sustain a reinforced division of 14,000 personnel made it a vital tool in the Empire's conquest of the galaxy. The use of landing craft, all-terrain walkers, and specialized assault teams allowed the Imperial Navy to project force swiftly and effectively, ensuring that no planet, station, or rebel stronghold could stand against the might of the Empire for long. The Praetor Mark II-class battlecruiser was developed by Kuat Drive Yards, a leading manufacturer renowned for producing some of the most advanced and powerful warships in the galaxy. The development of the Praetor Mark II began as part of the Imperial Navy's push to create more versatile and cost-effective alternatives to larger star dreadnoughts, such as the Executor class. Designed to serve as both a command ship and a frontline combatant, the Praetor Mark II needed to combine exceptional firepower with efficient production and operational flexibility, all while maintaining cost-effectiveness for large-scale deployment within the Imperial fleet. The design of the Praetor Mark II-class battlecruiser was driven by the need for a vessel that could engage in large fleet battles while remaining maneuverable enough to serve in a variety of roles, from planetary assaults to sector defense operations. The design team at Kuat Drive Yards faced the challenge of balancing the massive size and firepower expected of a battlecruiser with the need for a highly efficient logistical and construction process. They drew inspiration from previous designs, such as the Praetor-class dreadnought and the Executor-class star dreadnought, incorporating the central ridge structure that became a hallmark of Kuat's Star Destroyer family. This feature ensured the Praetor Mark II had a strong offensive posture while maintaining a compact design that was easier to produce and maintain than larger dreadnoughts. A key consideration in the design was the inclusion of modular components, which allowed for greater flexibility in production and assembly. The modular approach also made it easier to maintain the battlecruiser over its lifespan, as sections of the ship could be replaced or upgraded as needed. With a projected cost of 700 million credits, the Praetor Mark II was a significant investment, but its design and production methods allowed it to be more cost-effective compared to other superclass warships, offering a balance between power and expense. Kuat Drive Yards, with its extensive network of advanced shipyards, was the primary manufacturer responsible for the Praetor Mark II's construction. The company utilized a combination of orbital and ground-based facilities to build the battlecruisers, with the largest production centers located in the Kuat system itself. These shipyards were capable of constructing warships of immense size and complexity, supported by cutting-edge automated systems and thousands of skilled workers. The construction of the Praetor Mark II took place in multiple stages, beginning with the assembly of the ship's core structure, followed by the installation of its extensive weapon systems, propulsion units, and internal systems. The modular production process involved the creation of large, prefabricated sections, including the central ridge, weapon turrets, and reactor compartments, which were then transported to the primary shipyard for final assembly. The ship's propulsion and energy systems, along with its advanced bridge and command sections, were similarly constructed in modular units to streamline the overall process. Specialized assembly lines ensured the efficient integration of complex systems such as the turbo lasers, ion cannons, and cooling mechanisms. The ship's armor plating and defensive shields were also carefully engineered to withstand the harsh conditions of combat, requiring the expertise of the best Imperial engineers. Once the ship's core sections were complete, they were joined in massive dry docks or in space, utilizing a combination of gravitic tethers, heavy cranes, and robotic arms to position each segment into place. This assembly process was highly coordinated, requiring precise synchronization to ensure the seamless integration of the ship's systems. Final testing and calibration were conducted once the battlecruiser was fully assembled, ensuring that all systems were operational and that the ship was ready for deployment. The logistics behind the construction of the Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser were vast and intricate. Thousands of employees, ranging from highly trained engineers to skilled laborers, were involved in the construction and maintenance processes. Shipyards employed a mix of humans and specialized droids, each working in highly specialized sectors of the shipbuilding process. These workers were subjected to the demanding schedules of the Imperial Navy, with tight deadlines to meet the high demand for warships during the early years of the Empire's military buildup. Employees on the assembly lines worked in shifts, often in hazardous conditions, due to the complexity of the ship's systems and the size of the components involved. Safety measures were paramount, though the sheer volume of work meant that incidents were not uncommon. For many workers, laboring on a vessel as prestigious as the Praetor Mark II was both a source of pride and a testament to the efficiency of Kuat Drive Yards as the leading shipbuilder of the galaxy. The efficient use of droids in the production process allowed for faster construction times, but the human element remained vital in ensuring that the final product met the stringent standards set by the Empire. The modular production approach used in the construction of the Praetor Mark II was one of its defining features. This method allowed for the efficient assembly of the ship in stages, reducing construction time and ensuring that even the most advanced systems could be integrated smoothly. Modular design also allowed for flexibility in the construction process, enabling Kuat Drive Yards to produce a variety of configurations based on specific mission requirements. For example, different weapon loadouts or support systems could be installed depending on the intended role of each individual ship within the Imperial fleet. Additionally, modular production meant that ships could be easily modified or upgraded over time. If new technology became available, or if specific operational requirements changed, entire sections of the battlecruiser could be replaced or enhanced. This ensured that the Praetor Mark II remained a formidable force throughout its service life, with the ability to adapt to changing battlefield conditions. The Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser was a triumph of Imperial shipbuilding, combining powerful offensive systems with efficient production methods. Its development and construction by Kuat Drive Yards ensured that it could be deployed in large numbers across the galaxy, serving as a backbone of the Imperial Navy. The use of modular production, coupled with the efficient design and assembly processes, allowed the Praetor Mark II to be produced at a relatively low cost, while still providing unparalleled firepower and operational versatility. This combination of firepower, efficiency, and adaptability made the Praetor Mark II one of the most important warships in the Imperial fleet, and its legacy would continue to shape the design of future Imperial vessels. The Praetor-class Star Battlecruiser was one of the significant warships produced by Kuat Drive Yards in the waning years of the Galactic Republic. With a length of approximately 4,000 meters, the Praetor-class was a formidable vessel, serving as the successor to the Praetor-class Star Battlecruiser. However, due to the restrictions imposed by the Rusan Reformation, which limited the size and capabilities of warships, the Praetor-class Battlecruiser was designed with certain limitations, notably in terms of its hyperdrive technology and armament. Despite these restrictions, the ship's advanced design and weaponry made it a significant asset in the Republic's fleet during the Clone Wars. During the Clone Wars, the Praetor-class Battlecruiser was one of the key vessels employed by the Galactic Republic in their conflict against the Separatists. A number of these ships were modified to enhance their armor and weapons to improve combat efficiency in deep space engagements. Notably, the Praetor-class vessel Questor became a symbol of these upgrades, as it was among the battlecruisers sent on strike missions deep into separatist-held territories. However, Questor met a tragic end when it suffered a catastrophic hyperdrive malfunction due to sabotage. The ship was destroyed when it crashed onto the planet Pamant, causing a planetary fracture. This incident highlighted the vulnerability of even the most powerful warships under the pressures of the galactic conflict. After the rise of the Galactic Empire, the Praetor-class Battlecruiser continued to serve as an important warship in the Imperial fleet. The ship battalion was one of the vessels that played an active role in hunting down separatist remnant forces, engaging in several key conflicts, including the Cimmerthian insurrection and the destruction of a faction at Trace Amin. However, not all Praetor-class battlecruisers remained loyal to the Empire. The battalion's commander, Adar Talon, grew increasingly disillusioned with the Empire's oppressive methods. Disenchanted with Imperial rule, Talon eventually defected, bringing a loyal crew with him. To cover their escape, Talon orchestrated the destruction of the battalion in a clever scheme that involved pirate Captain Quist staging a mock rescue operation, where the Praetor class was intentionally lost under the pretense of saving a freighter under attack by pirates. Despite the end of its service under the Empire, the Praetor class continued to make an impact in the post-Republic era. During the Galactic Civil War, one of the derelict Praetor-class ships was captured and repurposed by rebel forces. Its reactors were removed and installed on the frozen planet Hoth to provide power for the vital Echo Base, including its crucial defensive systems. This reuse of a once imposing Imperial vessel underscored the adaptability of the Rebel Alliance in using any resource at their disposal to fight back against the Empire. The Praetor class, although eventually supplanted by its more advanced successor, the Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser, left a lasting legacy as an effective, versatile vessel that played a pivotal role in both the Clone Wars and the Galactic Civil War. Its design and performance influenced future battlecruisers, ensuring that its influence would be felt long after it had been retired from active duty. The Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser was developed during the early years of the Galactic Empire as a follow-up to the Republic-era Praetor-class Star Battlecruiser. The Imperial Navy sought to create a vessel that could combine the firepower and command capabilities of a battlecruiser with the technological advancements and operational strategies of the new Imperial fleet. However, the Praetor Mark II faced significant challenges in terms of its overall role in the Imperial Navy. Despite its impressive armament and capabilities, the Praetor Mark II was not widely embraced by Imperial command. The Empire's military doctrine favored the construction of massive star dreadnoughts, such as the Executor class, which could strike terror across the galaxy due to their overwhelming firepower and size. In comparison, the Praetor Mark II, though powerful, was viewed as less effective as a terror weapon, as it lacked the sheer scale and devastation of the larger dreadnoughts. Additionally, the Praetor Mark II was more expensive to produce than individual Imperial-class star destroyers, which were considered more versatile and capable of fulfilling a wider range of operational roles. The battlecruiser's higher cost, coupled with its specialized design, made it less attractive as a primary vessel for the Imperial Navy's strategic needs. As a result, the production of the Praetor Mark II was limited, with only a few ships of the class commissioned before the Imperial military shifted focus to other classes of ships that better suited its goals. Despite the limited number of Praetor Mark II class vessels produced, those that were commissioned served as valuable assets in Imperial operations. Their advanced weapon systems and formidable durability allowed them to perform crucial roles in fleet command, planetary defense, and as powerful deterrents in contested regions of space. Nevertheless, the Praetor Mark II ultimately became a niche vessel, overshadowed by the larger, more cost-effective star destroyers and dreadnoughts that dominated the Imperial fleet. The Praetor Mark II's production was eventually ceased, and it was gradually phased out in favor of other designs that better aligned with the Empire's evolving military needs. While it did not achieve the widespread use of other Imperial warships, the Praetor Mark II remains a notable example of the Empire's early attempts to refine its fleet, blending advanced technology with strategic intent. despite its relatively short-lived service in comparison to the galaxy's more iconic warships. As a result of the Empire's strategic focus on larger, more versatile warships, the Praetor Mark II class battlecruisers, along with other battlecruiser designs, were primarily assigned to defend critical areas within the core regions of the galaxy. These battlecruisers were considered well-suited for defending important Imperial strongholds, including key star systems and vital infrastructure in the heart of the Empire. While the Praetor Mark II class had impressive firepower and combat capabilities, it was not regularly deployed on routine patrols or smaller engagements. Instead, these battlecruisers were reserved for more significant large-scale conflicts. Due to their specialized design and heavy armament, they were often called upon for particularly dangerous missions at the edges of Imperial space, such as repelling uprisings, defending against rebellious forces, or engaging in large fleet confrontations. However, the Praetor Mark II rarely ventured far from its assigned dockyards or strategic positions unless there was a major threat or a large-scale engagement that required its overwhelming firepower and command capability. The Empire's broader reliance on star destroyers for everyday fleet operations meant that the Praetor Mark II class often remained stationed in crucial sectors, waiting for critical moments when their specific role and capabilities could be fully utilized in the Empire's defense or offensive operations. A notable example of the Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser being used for a dangerous mission on the fringes of Imperial space was the Helmsman, commanded by Admiral Mills Giel. The Helmsman was assigned a highly secretive and crucial mission to transport a Teasel from the distant Valtha Divide to Coruscant. The Teasel, a rare and highly valuable living hyperspace communications device, was intended to be installed as a key communications tool for the Imperial Navy, enhancing the Empire's ability to coordinate military operations and respond more effectively to rebel movements across the galaxy. The Helmsman, equipped with the necessary systems to transport the Teasel safely, carried the creature aboard its specialized transportation ring. This advanced, large-scale ring was designed to accommodate the Teasel in its delicate and vulnerable state, ensuring that the living device could be moved without harm during the long and perilous journey across Imperial space. The mission itself was critical, as the installation of the Teasel on Coruscant would grant the Empire a significant tactical advantage, allowing for more precise coordination of fleet movements and intelligence sharing, a much-needed asset in the war against the Rebel Alliance. The Helmsman and its crew, under Admiral Giel's command, were tasked with ensuring the successful transport and delivery of the Teasel, which was viewed as a potential game-changer in the Empire's ongoing struggle for galactic control. This mission was a rare example of the Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser being utilized for a special, high-priority operation outside the core regions, showcasing the ship's ability to handle complex and high-stakes assignments, even though it was not frequently deployed in regular combat scenarios. The secret armada led by the Helmsman encountered disaster while en route to Coruscant. As they made their way through hostile space, the armada was ambushed by a daring assault from the rebel flying Bantha squadron. In order to engage the heavily armored and shielded Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser, the rebels had to modify their stolen TIE fighters. These modifications were necessary to overcome the vessel's formidable layers of defense, which included advanced shields and reinforced armor. The primary objective of the rebel squadron was to disable the Helmsman's transport ring, which housed the valuable Teasel. The flying Bantha squadron succeeded in breaching the battlecruiser's defenses, managing to strike the transport cage and kill the Teasel in the process. Despite the successful hit on its target, the Praetor Mark II was able to withstand the attack due to its heavy armor and powerful shielding. Though damaged, the battlecruiser did not fall. Its gun batteries quickly came online, retaliating against the rebel fighters with devastating firepower. However, despite the damage inflicted upon the Helmsman, the assailant TIE fighter managed to escape the counterfire, disappearing into the void of space before any further retaliation could be carried out. The mission had been a costly one for the Empire, with the Teasel lost and the Praetor Mark II suffering damage, but the battlecruiser's survival in the face of the assault was a testament to its resilience and combat capabilities. After the conclusion of the arms race campaign, a Praetor Mark II was assigned to participate in a fleet exercise alongside several other formidable Imperial warships, including superstar destroyers. This exercise was designed to test the operational readiness of various capital ships in a simulated combat environment, allowing the Imperial Navy to refine tactics, coordination, and resource management. During the exercise, a significant logistical operation took place. An Executor-class dreadnought and an Allegiance-class battlecruiser were simultaneously refueled by a massive replenishment ship. This demonstration of coordination and support between different classes of ships underscored the complexity and scale of Imperial fleet operations. The operation required careful synchronization, as the refueling process had to be conducted efficiently and without compromising the combat readiness of the ships involved. The Praetor Mark II played an important role in overseeing the exercise and ensuring that the various elements of the fleet were working in concert. Its heavy armament and advanced command systems made it an ideal choice for such a high-stakes exercise, providing the leadership and firepower necessary to maintain control during the simulated battle scenarios. Although this exercise was not intended to be a true combat operation, it highlighted the Praetor Mark II's utility in coordinating large-scale Imperial fleet operations, even in the midst of logistical challenges. The Thalassa was a Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser that served under the command of Admiral Sandor Delvardis, a high-ranking officer who became a key figure in the Ariadu Authority. The Ariadu Authority was a breakaway faction that separated from the Galactic Empire following the chaotic events of the Battle of Endor and the subsequent downfall of Emperor Palpatine. After the Empire's collapse, Delvardis and his forces, including the Thalassa, sought to establish a new power center in the galaxy, specifically focusing on the Ariadu system and surrounding sectors. As a part of Delvardis's fleet, the Thalassa played a prominent role in maintaining the strength and stability of the Ariadu Authority. The battlecruiser was a formidable asset due to its advanced armament and the command capabilities inherent to the Praetor Mark II class. Its combination of firepower, durability, and advanced combat systems made it an invaluable tool for maintaining control over the Ariadu Authority's territory, as well as serving as a flagship during confrontations with both rebel factions and remnants of the Imperial Navy that still sought to maintain control over parts of the galaxy. Under Admiral Delvardis, the Thalassa and its fleet often found themselves engaged in skirmishes with other former Imperial factions and local resistance groups. The breakaway forces of the Ariadu Authority, while smaller and more limited in resources compared to the larger Imperial remnants, relied on the strategic advantages provided by ships like the Thalassa to assert their dominance and defend their sovereignty in a galaxy now rife with conflict and uncertainty. In 4 ABY, during the New Republic's push against the Imperial warlords and their remaining fleets, a significant confrontation took place between a task force from the New Republic and the Thalassa, the Praetor Mark II class battlecruiser, under the command of Admiral Sandor Delvardis. The New Republic task force, composed of EF-76 Nebulan B escort frigates and BTL Y-wing starfighters, engaged the Thalassa in the Morja system. The battle was a pivotal moment in the New Republic's campaign to dismantle the remnants of the Empire. The Thalassa, despite its heavy firepower and formidable defenses, was no match for the coordinated assault by the New Republic forces. The task force's strategy involved using the Nebulan B frigates for both long-range fire support and close-quarters combat, while the Y-wing starfighters provided precision strikes against the battlecruiser's vulnerable points. The Thalassa was overwhelmed by the combined assault, unable to withstand the concentrated firepower from the task force. After a fierce battle, the Thalassa was ultimately destroyed, marking a significant victory for the New Republic and further weakening the forces of the Imperial warlords. The battle in the Morja system highlighted the ongoing struggle for control in the galaxy and the determined efforts of the New Republic to eliminate the remaining threats posed by Imperial factions.